Yo, what up? This your boy Kenneth Stones, a.k.a. Coffee Weaston.
This your boy D.O.E. Good Brother Bowl.
And we are the Dirty Hills. You already know, man, you tuning in to 11:30 podcast. Mm-hmm. Not 7:30, but 11:30.
Dude, that's my job. Not 7:30, but 11:30.
Yeah. And you have been Dirty Hills approved.
You're now listening to the 11:30 podcast. Enjoy the show.
Yo, what it do, everybody? It's your man Dre, aka Dre on Wheels. Y'all already know what it is. Welcome back, everyone, to a new episode of the 11:30 podcast, Talk Pro Wrestling. What's goody, everybody doing out there? We back at it here for some Talk Pro Wrestling. Good morning, good night, good afternoon to all my listeners all across the world, wherever you may be at, Germany, Canada, the States, Chicago, DC, wherever you may be at. Thank you for joining me back here for Talk Pro Wrestling. If you listen on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you subscribe. Yes, subscribe to the 11:30 Podcast YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button down below. Like it, leave a comment, and do all that great stuff. And don't forget to follow the 11:30 Podcast on all social media platforms. But you guys, like I said, man, the weekend is upon us, and it's time for Talk Pro Wrestling. I got an awesome guest that's joining me back here on Talk Pro Wrestling this week, you guys. My guy, MalcGoolie, he's joining me. Yes, he's coming back here on the 11:30 Podcast. We're going to chop it up. All things wrestling this week, for real. Before we do, shout out my guest who was on last week, Warren Barlow and Blackheart from Commission. For real, thank you guys for coming on the show. Speaking of the show, let's get into it. We ain't going to waste no more time. MalcGoolie, man, what's going on with you, bro?
I'm doing well, doing blessed. Hope everybody's having a wonderful day, having a wonderful evening, wonderful stroll to the park one day on the sunny, May side of May, even though outside it's not May, looking like it's May. It's not May. But other than that, can't wait to talk pro wrestling because I do have a lot. If you also want to find me, also you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is MalcGoolie. That's MalcGoolie. And you can also follow me on Twitter and also on Instagram as well. I also have a secondary channel, which is the Spotlight Sports Network, which I do work for a lot of amazing people over there. And we do have a wrestling podcast show called the Ruthless Attitude Podcast, which is held every Friday night on YouTube at 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock, where we just talk about wrestling through the week and the most intriguing topics that be popping up on this week of wrestling or last week, or we also do top 10s. We do it all on that show. So yeah, make sure you guys give that a look because you don't want to miss what we have in store for our next episode.
Hey, man, I've been checking you out, man. You've been killing it, man. You've been killing it and grinding hard. It's been a long time since I had you on the podcast. How life been treating you?
Life's been fantastic. Life's been good. And new job, factory job, just everything's just going full circle. Just blessed at this point.
Hey, that's what's up. You got to stay blessed, man. Before we got on air, we was talking a little bit about the NBA draft, the trade deadline that just took place, and you were not too satisfied that the Chicago Bulls did not do anything or didn't do too much in it.
Yeah, I was a little bit upset, but after listening to what Arthur said, it kind of makes sense that we didn't do anything. But at least there's good news as a Bears fan. The fact that Chicago could get Devontae Adams, the Bears could get Devontae Adams, could also put a big smile on my face. The fact, as long as we don't have to trade a first round pick or two to get him, I will be perfectly fine with that. So at least there's some light at the end of the rainbow.
Hey, I dig it, man, for real. The sports right now, where the Super Bowl is coming up. Any predictions? Who you think gonna win between Cincinnati and the Rams?
Personally, I'm going to be happy regardless on who wins the Super Bowl, as long as Green Bay is not in it. I think everybody that listens from Chicago can understand that. So the fact of if Matthew Stafford wins, I get to laugh at Lions fans. If Cincinnati wins, I get to laugh at the whole entire league. But either way, I'm just going to be happy regardless for both teams. Both teams have had an astounding season, especially the Rams went all in, and nobody, and I mean nobody, expected Joe Burrow to his second year in the NFL, and he is a Super Bowl is in the Super Bowl. It's just amazing. I think he just won up Patrick Mahomes. Shoot, he beat Patrick Mahomes to even get to this point. So personally, I want to say spoiler because I have this funny feeling Sean McVay is going to overlook Cincinnati, and I think Cincinnati would probably win. I'm gonna say 30 to potentially 20. Cincinnati wins their first title. Joe Burrow becomes the man, ones up Patrick Mahomes, and he will get. If Mahomes is getting $500 million, almost $1 billion, I think Joe Burrow will probably get more than what Patrick Mahomes is getting if he wins the Super Bowl.
Okay. Hey, that's what's up, man. I don't know, man. I say the Los Angeles Rams may take it though, but hey, it can go both ways. It can go both ways. But enough of sports talk, man. I hope everybody enjoyed their weekend and enjoyed the Super Bowl and stuff like that. But we're gonna get into some wrestling, you guys. Started off, man. Trending topics in pro wrestling, but like I said, we're gonna start it off. What took place this past Wednesday? We had the debut in All Elite Wrestling of Keith Lee. Keith Lee is now All Elite Wrestling. This kind of got, I ain't gonna say this kind of got, it got spoiled for me a little bit because I tried to tell myself, don't go on social media. But I didn't look at the picture, but I knew who it was, man. It was a big dude. I was like, that's Keith Lee, but I ain't gonna look. But, Keith Lee made his debut on AEW Dynamite. How did you feel about this surprise debut and the future for Keith Lee?
But the future for Keith Lee, I love the fact I'm a big fan of Keith Lee. I'm so happy to see him again, not only on my TV, but also just wrestling. And he's finally free from his prison. He's no longer a Bearcat. He is now limitless, as he should have been his whole WWE main roster run. But we all know how that went down there. And personally, me and a few other people thought that besides Keith Lee, there was a lot of people saying Shane McMahon. There was a lot of people that were saying, personally, I thought it was going to be Johnny Gargano, to be honest with you. I thought it was going to be Johnny. Some people also said, I've already said Shane. So you got Shane, Bray Wyatt. There's a talk about Bray Wyatt coming to AEW, which is still up in the air. But personally, Keith Lee coming to AEW, I'm fine with it, but I still believe that AEW has too many people as it is, and I'm afraid some of their younger talent is lost in the shuffle. But at the same time, we do have AEW Dark and we do have AEW Rampage to fill the void. So with Keith Lee going to AEW, I thought he was going to go to Impact, but hey, AEW is good for him. He had a tremendous match against Isaiah Cassidy, and he looked good. He looked great, and I'm so happy that he's going to be a part of the brass ring ladder match, which I think Revolution is. I don't know when Revolution will be, but I will be doing play-by-play on that. And as for the future for Keith Lee, he just got married. Congratulations to him and Mia Yim. Keith Lee, the future for Keith Lee in AEW, personally, TNT champion or World Heavyweight champion. But only time will tell. So Keith Lee is All Elite, and I am all for it.
Yeah, I'm all for it, man. I'm definitely all for it. When I seen it, and just his emotions when he came down the ramp, you could tell he was just back in wrestling. When he was in WWE and they put that whole Bearcat gimmick on him, that was not it. He was not feeling it, nor was he feeling the fact that his wife Mia Yim, who had a great run, or who was having a great run in NXT, and now she got called up to Retribution that fell
Oh
flat
God,
on
we don't
his
talk.
face.
We don't
Yeah,
talk about that.
I know. I don't even want to talk about it myself. But it felt so flat on his face, and she didn't belong in it. Whether she was the only woman in the group, that was that. But I'm just so excited to see him where He's happy, and like you just mentioned about a week ago, he did get married. So things are looking up for him right now. And I think WWE took a big loss, a big L when they let a lot of guys go, but certainly Keith Lee.
And also, speaking of this too, because nobody brings this up. I don't know if you brought this up, but remember, also we haven't seen Keith Lee for like over like a year, and all of because Vince they wanted Keith Lee to lose weight, and it kind of makes me laugh in a way because I'm like, Keith Lee is doing things when he was in WWE, he was doing things that cruiserweights could do. So when you have a big man like that representing the big men, okay, they can do moonsaults and all these other tricks that a cruiserweight can do. That's pretty impressive. Keith Lee doesn't have a weight problem, but we can put Otis on there as well. But Otis, I think Otis is more bigger than Keith Lee in my opinion. But well, in the weight category. But it's just so funny. And then the fact that Vince wanted to own his government name. Shout outs to my friend Key in the building. Government name. And lately, Vince been trying to own everybody's government name for some reason. Just like he tried to own Walter's government name. And now came up with that Gunter. Oh, God. I don't want to. Okay, but yeah. Other than that, yeah. I mean, WWE did drop the ball with Keith Lee. And he's somewhere where he's happy. There's no constriction on him. There's no creative genius that could let him on his first night on the main roster and loses to your world champion. Yeah. That's great impact right there. Just very inspiring. Also, losing to Randy Orton. Yeah, and then beating Randy Orton at Payback, which I'm like, okay, cool, right start. Then we don't see him. I don't even think he had a championship. I mean, he had the NXT title, but I don't think he even in the North American. But I don't think he even have a main roster title, which is another thing. Like Vince, hello, you want a star? Here's your star.
Yeah, exactly. And remember what happened at Survivor Series where, he came down as the sole survivor against Roman Reigns. That whole moment was like, yeah, you're going to be a big star. Like, see you down the road. And obviously, the road was cut short, with that. So, and obviously, like you mentioned, WWE or Vince McMahon trying to own, their government names. Yeah, that's so when they leave WWE, they really can't make a buck. Or it's hard for them to make a buck, elsewhere, without that WWE name that, they were given and stuff, or just had while they were in WWE. But yeah, that's that. But AEW was off the chain. That was not only we seen Jay White debut on AEW this past week, and we also seen him with the Bullet Club on Impact Wrestling. I love what the Bullet Club is doing right now. I thought it was I actually thought it was Kenny Omega though. What's your thoughts on Jay White making his debut?
To be honest with you, I was speechless when we did the play-by-play commentary on Wednesday. We were I was very, very speechless because I was like, is that? No, it can't be. And it was Jay White, and and I love the fact that the Bullet Club are in Impact. I love the fact that they got Chris Bay. Yes. I mean, but here's another thing too, with Jay White. Jay White, I believe, obviously the leader of the new Bullet Club. I think this is the 4th or 5th rendition of the Bullet Club. I could be wrong, but yeah, I like Jay White. I think he's a fantastic wrestler. I love the fact that he'd be recruiting people from the Bullet Club. I mean, Adam Cole saying he was the one that made the phone call without the Young Bucks consent, which I thought was like, I'm going to say it right now. They're setting up pieces because I'm going to tell you right now, this is going to be a thing. And now remember, you hear this from me. I believe at the end of the year, we are going to get the undisputed Dragon Club versus All Elite. Now, when I say All Elite, I'm talking Omega and the Bucks. And I think this could happen too, because, a lot of things that happen in the span of a year. I think Finn Balor gets off from his contract from WWE, comes back home, joins Omega and the Young Bucks. I know this is just wishful thinking, and boom, gets control of his baby back, his Bullet Club, because this is his group to begin with. So you can see the Bullet Club literally in fighting with each other. You can see all these dream matches here from New Japan and AEW, like the Good Brothers versus the Gorillas of Destiny. You got Chris Bay versus oh my goodness, can't think of his name right now. He'd be with the Super Elite. He always be spraying them
Brandon
down.
Cutler.
Brandon Cutler.
Yeah.
Like you could see the Young Bucks versus the Red Dragons, which I'm not going to lie, I still want to see. Really, really want to see. It is going to be incredible. And then, shoot, you never know. Kenny Omega versus Adam Cole, and the coup de grace, no pun intended, to Finn Balor versus Jay White for control of the Bullet Club.
Hey,
Full control.
Fantasy booking, I would definitely like that, especially where Finn Balor's at right now. Ever since, he came back up to NXT, had the match with Roman Reigns, became the Demon for one night. It just
Loses.
it's just it's not going really well with Finn, but would definitely hope to see that. While we still on AEW, one thing that took place last night that I thought it was very, very interesting. I talked about it here on the podcast before. We started Dynamite off with MJF coming out there. Actually, well, Warlow coming out there with cut up cardboards of MJF. On top of CM Punk and beating him the prior week in Chicago. Now, Warlow did not get no music, but out comes Sean Spears, out come FTR. They got music and stuff like that. And MJF, acknowledge him and everything. But your main guy, who's been right there by your side, you sort of kind of like throwing him on the bus. But nonetheless, that's not the story. The story was that CM Punk wanted the rematch. He wanted a rematch against MJF. And MJF said, yo, you can get your rematch as long as you just don't pick the two dorks beside you, Darby Allin or Sting. Now, I said on the podcast before, CM Punk doesn't really have any friends. And at least that's what it's shown to be on AEW. And the only people he have teamed with has been Darby Allin and Sting, in which they won their matchup. Now, when MJF said, yo, find a partner, I was like, I don't know what partner he could find, though. And he found the partner in Jon Moxley. Now, I don't know if you know, and I don't know if anybody else thought of this. Well, the last time CM Punk, before he came back to wrestling, the last person he was wrestling was The Shield. It was Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns. So I thought it was so, kind of cool that he said, yo, reach back into his back pocket, back in 2014 and called up Jon Moxley to be his tag team partner. Did you thought of that? Any thoughts of that?
Originally, I did not expect Jon Moxley to be the partner. Mm-hmm. This is who I did expect, because he's still in AEW, even though he's not on there as much. I thought they were going to do and reunite the Second City Saints. I thought CM Punk's partner was going to be Colt Cabana. And if it was Colt, I was going to flip out, because I'm like, oh, the Second City Saints, And I also thought if they do this, Colt Cabana joins the Pinnacle, leaves the Dark Order, and joins the Pinnacle, and just literally all of his frustration in real life with Punk comes out, and then we get Punk versus Cabana. Then we get probably a Double or Nothing CM Punk versus MJF. But when I heard Wild Thing, I was like, okay, I thought John was gonna turn heel, but because the whole thing with Bryan Danielson. But either way, this works too. This works too for both. I mean, I love Jon Moxley. Nothing will ever change that. Love John Moxley, everything that he does. There's nothing that man can and cannot do. But I did not expect John Moxley. The match was great, and now Punk gets his revenge. Personally, I don't know where Revolution is going to take place. I hope if booked right, I hope it was in Long Island, because if it was, it would be great for Punk to beat MJF in Long Island. Now that I would love to see. But as for Wardlow is concerned, Wardlow, to me, it's going to happen sooner rather than later. I think it will happen. Personally, I think it needs to happen when MJF, probably at Double or Nothing, beats Adam Hangman Page for the World Heavyweight title. And his first opponent, MJF's first opponent, should be Wardlow. That's when it needs to happen.
Okay. I'm all down for that. I'm definitely all down for that. I can see it definitely, coming, and when he turns, it's gonna be something.
The crowd is gonna be popping hard for it.
Yeah, they are. They definitely are. Another thing I cannot wait to see next week on Dynamite. This past week, Santana and Ortiz laid out a challenge to Chris Jericho and Jake Yeager and said, "Yo, man, I'm tired of you holding us back." I talked about this also because I feel like Santana and Ortiz. I did not follow these guys before they came. I haven't followed a lot of AEW superstars before they came, or before AEW was on TV. I was just a WWE guy. I ain't gonna be no shame to admit it. But nonetheless, I really like these guys, Santana and Ortiz, and I feel like they have not got a fair shot at the World Tag Team Championships when Santana Ortiz blames Jericho for their shortcomings. Do you feel like this is the right move to split the inner circle up and let all of them spread their wings on their own?
I think it's time for the inner circle to just break up or disband for right now, because there's nothing really left for them to do. I mean, the only thing you could do is have them face the Dark Order, but the Dark Order is not that really big of a group right now. Well, not that big of a group to take for the inner circle. I mean, what else can you do? I mean, I thought that after the Pinnacle, I'm like, okay, where can you go from here? Where can we go from here? Santana and Ortiz, I followed them all the way before they were called Pride and Powerful. Combat Zone Wrestling fans should know this. They were formerly known as EYFBO, a former CZW Tag Team Champions, defeating the Hit Squad, and that's a feat other than itself. They go to Impact. They join Homicide for the new improved LAX, and I think I don't have to remind everybody, their time in Impact I loved, especially when they were the new new version of LAX, and then their feud with the OGs, which I also like too, because Santana and Ortiz are very, very very, very good tag team. I think it's a little long overdue, just like Jurassic Express. Thank God they won the belts. I was happy when that happened. But yeah, I think just like them, Private Party, who else? The Hybrid too. There's a lot of tag teams in AEW that I think that deserve, those belts. But out of all of them, nobody deserves them more than the current tag team champions, which is Jurassic Express. But I wouldn't mind seeing Pride and Powerful being the ones to take the belts off of Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. I wouldn't mind seeing something like that. And as for the Inner Circle as itself, I think it's time. I'm happy that Guevara was the first person to lay his vest down, because I think he's already, the man. I mean, he's the undisputed TNT champion. Yeah, I mean, it's good. Santana and Ortiz can focus as a tag team. You have Sammy Guevara focusing as a singles competitor. Now, the only two members I believe that can still work as a duo is Jericho and Hagar. I believe those two can still be a tag team and still work together. So, yeah, something like that. Would love to see. I'm happy. I think it's time. Inner Circle, it's time. Even though I was at an AEW show in Indianapolis and we were robbed of Judas, but it's neither here or there. But yeah.
Yeah, I think it's time, man. I think it's time. It's gonna come. But before we move on, you guys, into to some other wrestling news and trending topics, how do you feel about Hangman Adam Page's title run? It seems like the last couple of matches that he's been having, great matches. Obviously, the one Kenny Omega, well, he wasn't champion at that point, but the ones with Daniel Bryan and great matches though. But it seems though when he got to put the title on the line, it got to be a bloodbath. It seems like they got to go the extra mile. It's just, to me, I don't know. I mean, the matches are great, but it's just, I don't know. I just want to see him just wrestle a just straight up match. I don't know. How do you feel about his title run right now?
Well, so far, I've been
that he had with Lance Archer also.
His title reign so far, I like it so far. Winning the belt, I was happy. Did that play by play. Happy. Now the Bryan Danielson part of it, I liked the matches, but I didn't agree with the fact of turning Bryan Danielson heel to do it. Because personally, I thought at the time they were going to do an Iron Man match between those two, but that didn't happen. So I'm like, okay, so no Iron Man match. But we get a 60-minute match, and doesn't even go 60 minutes, their second match, but it became a bloodbath, and it was still good. I mean, the matches are great. I mean, his title reign has been average. It's like above average. It's been B at that. And as for his match with Lance Archer, because I'm a huge fan of death matches, I'm sorry, something about when a man or a human body goes through a table, thumbtacks, getting stabbed in the eye with a fork, I don't know, that's adrenaline for me, because every time on Wednesdays when we live stream AEW, and if there is a death match involved, the spotlight's on me, because I be the one that be over with the, what did I say yesterday? A choke slam through the trash can, Jesus, and, like stuff like that. So inner Joey Styles in the making here, but yeah, it was a very, 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 very good match, and the fact that Adam Page can bleed. He can bleed. Now, Lance Archer, on the other hand, I think it was kind of funny after he goes through the plain glass window. He's just bleeding on one side. Yeah. He looked like Two-Face. And I was like, okay, he looked like a deranged Two-Face. As for Adam Hangman Page, he got cut from the eye. He was bleeding all over the place. And the fact that he used the referee to leverage himself for that buckshot lariat, that right there was a beautiful spot. Love it.
Yes. That was definitely a beautiful spot, because once my guy came down and Dan Lambert came down and took the top rope off for the buckshot, he was out of it. He was, like, oh, what I'm gonna do? And the referee bent down and gave him that huge assist. So, hey man, that was dope, man. AEW is dope. I love it what they doing, man. And I'm loving pro wrestling now in general, man, for real. But you guys, we're having fun here, talking wrestling as you hear and as you can see, with my guy McGully here on the 1130 Podcast Talk Pro Wrestling. We're gonna move on. McGully, what was your thoughts on the 2022 Royal Rumble? Did you like it? Did you dislike it?
Okay, let me say this, because I gave the show a D-.
Okay.
I don't like to give shows Fs. I don't. Now, if you're saying about the whole pay-per-view, in a way, pay-per-view after it's still a D+, C- at best. But the Rumble matches themselves, okay, let's get down to that. The first match, look, I love the Rumble. I love that the fact that Roman Reigns started off. But let me say this. I'm sorry, it's a title match. I get it. It's a title match, and I get it. It's 8 years in the making for those two. But did we really have to end the match with a dang DQ finish? I did not like the DQ finish.
I did.
I hated the DQ finish, but I did love the fact that Roman Reigns got his revenge. Actually, he got his revenge, because I'm going to get into it, because I'm going to say it right now. I'm going to be in the zone here in a minute. Roman Reigns picks up a chair 8 years in the making. And just to let all of you know, and I'm not trying to be that guy, but I was there for the Shield the Shield debuting. That happened in Survivor Series in Indianapolis, where I live. I was there when they broke up. Also, where was that? Indianapolis. And I was there when they reunited. Where was that? Indianapolis. So, and they even talked about it when they reunited to take down The Miz and Braun Strowman and this. Like, Indianapolis, we have so much fun every time when we come here to this city. You were the ones that created the Shield. You were the one that saw the Shield die. And now you guys are seeing it being rebirth.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not a coincidence. It's always a coincidence. It's always Indianapolis that we always it's something about this city. So shout outs to Seth, Roman, and John for bringing that up, because they always love coming to Indianapolis and they would love nothing better to do anything with that. But yeah, 8 years, and I love the fact that they used Jon Moxley as well and adding him into the build. The fact that Seth came out in that Shield gear,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay, all right. But yeah, the DQ finish was the only thing I didn't like. What was the other? Now, I ain't gonna lie. I am not a big fan of Brock Lesnar. You can choke me all you want, but I am not a big fan of this Brock Lesnar. Now, 2002 to 2004 Brock, I liked. But 2000, but this Brock Lesnar, Goolie don't like. I don't like it. Being shoved way too down our throats. Now, I was one of those people that didn't want to see Bobby versus Brock, because personally, I'd rather see Batista versus Brock, because the beast versus the animal that can sell itself way better than the beast versus the almighty. But everybody wanted to see it, but until they started doing the promos and vignettes, I'm like, okay, you know what? Maybe now I want to see it. Did I get my wish? Kinda, because the match ends with Roman coming down, spearing Brock, and Paul Heyman with the greatest heel turn from Paul Heyman, attacks, brings the belt to Roman, the WWE title, hits Brock with it. 1, 2, 3, Bobby wins. I'm like, okay, Bobby wins. I was happy with it, but at the same time, I'm like, so everybody that wanted to see Bobby versus Brock, this is actually the match you guys actually wanted to see? That's all I got to say to them. And also, I don't like the fact, hopefully we'll talk about the Chamber, but that's another different subject. And then what else did we get on this pay-per-view? Doudrop versus Becky. I got to give Doudrop credit. Got to give Doudrop some credit. She actually did pretty well. Better than I expected against Becky. But at the end of the day, Becky with a super Beth bottom or something like that to retain.
Super Becky bottom, something like that.
Yeah, to retain the belt, and I was cool with that. Now, what else did we get on the show? Now we get the Rumble matches. The Rumble matches. The women. Happy to see Melina. Shout outs to Sasha Banks, looking like a beautiful Sailor Moon. And I'm going to say this right now, and I think everybody can agree. Sasha Banks is the only woman in wrestling that can make the following things attractive for no reason. She can do blue hair, pink hair, red hair. She can make all hairstyles look very, attractive. But this is the one. She can make anime characters very, very attractive. Even though a lot of people cosplay a lot, which is great. I ain't got a problem with people cosplaying, especially the females. Get to that soon. But and also she can make a stormtrooper attractive. I'm like, Sasha's the only one who can make a stormtrooper look sexy. Even though I hate Sailor Moon, I hate that anime with a passion, but she looked cool. Melina, was happy to see her, even though I didn't like the fact that she got eliminated very early. Like the surprise is Ivory, and oh my god! And the fact that Ivory came out and the right to censor get up, that was awesome. For the first time, I was actually happy to hear that warning, even though, in my opinion, the rights to censor won. If you really think about it, if you look at the company is today, the rights to censor won. They won.
Yeah.
They really won. And I'm gonna say this too: 60 where? I did not know Ivory was 60. She does not look like she's 60. She looks like she's 40. I'm at to the point Ivory doesn't age.
Yeah.
Sasha Banks, I didn't like that she got eliminated early. There was a few women I didn't like that got eliminated early. I didn't like the fact of Sonya Deville ruining the once in a year spectacle of Naomi saving herself to get back into the Royal Rumble. I didn't like the fact that Sonya Deville interfered, and I can't wait till that feud is over. I thought it was over on SmackDown, but no. I think this feud is going to continue all the way to WrestleMania with like career versus job on the line storyline. I believe that could be a thing at WrestleMania. You got that going. And also the winner. Look, I'm not going to lie. No Alexa Bliss. No Io Shirai for number 30. No Asuka. No Asuka. Even though Asuka is battling some injuries and getting teeth work done. So I figured Asuka wouldn't be there. But yep, and you had to show her. Right there. Ronda Rousey. Now look, I don't hate Ronda. Guys, I don't hate Ronda. But I do have a little bit of a pet peeve with Ronda.
Okay.
Because here's the thing. 2 years ago, WrestleMania 35, right? It's WrestleMania 38. So 2.5 years ago, Ronda is in a triple threat match. She's the Raw Women's Champion. She gets pinned by Becky Lynch, even though the match should have ended in submission. Because all three women were submission specialists, as WWE was very booking to that. But we don't see Ronda for 2.5 years. And then you see Ronda going on TMZ, like making a video saying all these terrible things about WWE fans, about the fans, about the wrestlers in general. And I'm like, oh my God, if that be the case, F you, Ronda. I thought Ronda was done. I thought it was just a 1 year thing and she was done. But what I didn't know, what I didn't know behind the scenes, Vince was still paying Ronda. Because Ronda wanted to take some time off so she could be a mommy. And that's cool. But where was Ronda for WrestleMania 36? Where was Ronda for WrestleMania 37? It's not like she had baby after baby. No, this is her first child. So she's basically getting paid dang near to sit at home while talking trash about the wrestling fan and the wrestlers. And when she came out at the Rumble and everybody popped that she won the thing, I'm like, hey, wrestling fans, isn't this a little bit hypocritical that you are cheering the one woman who called us, gullible, this and that, we believe everything, smarts, all of that. And this is who you cheer and this is who you're happy that won the Rumble? Who's the big hypocrite, wrestling fans? Because I'm sorry. And also, she won. She's challenging Charlotte, even though, personally, I think WWE is going to change it. Because let's be real, not a lot of people, there's a lot of fans like myself that probably, think there's a certain other person that needs to be involved in this match. Because to be honest, if Ronda was not there, Sasha should have won the Rumble if Ronda was not going to be there. But when that got word off a Bleach Report, I didn't want to believe that Ronda was going to show up, but she did, and she won the thing. And now we get Cruella de Charlotte versus Ronda Rousey. And I'm not a big fan of Charlotte Flair either. I think she's annoying. But let me say this. But let me say this about it. I think they're going to do the WrestleMania 35 treatment. I'm not going to say they're going to do Becky Lynch versus. I thought they could, but thank God they're not, because there's a certain other person that Becky Lynch is going to face at WrestleMania. But I think because fans already are crapping on it. They don't want to see Charlotte versus Ronda.
Yeah, I don't either.
I don't want to see it either because we've already seen it at Survivor Series. So
Exactly.
you have to add the one woman who has been with WWE, has put up with their crap. She's 0-7 at WrestleMania. She needs a big win at WrestleMania. I think you need to put the plug in and put Sasha Banks in this match because Sasha will save this match. Have Sasha win the thing. If you don't want her to pin Ronda so you can keep Ronda, whatever the heck you want to keep Ronda to be, that's fine. Have her pin Charlotte, the one woman that Sasha always had issues with. So I believe around WrestleMania time, I hope they don't do it at Elimination Chamber. If they do, I'm going to scream. Please, Vince, if you have a brain. Please, Bruce Pritchard, if you have a brain. Put Sasha in this match, and I bet you 9 times out of 10, everybody will be more interested just to see Sasha win. If you have Charlotte win, fans are going to get mad. If you have Ronda win, fans are definitely going to get mad. So just add Sasha, have Sasha win, boom. Now the men's. I'm sorry, my bad.
But I'm just going to say something real quick because I'm loving everything you're saying though. I thought Ronda was going to take on Becky for the Raw Women's Championship instead of Charlotte. Like you said, we seen Charlotte versus Ronda before at Survivor Series that ended in a DQ. That was that. Now we hear I mean, it rightfully so, but I understand it seems like WWE is trying to right their wrong and backtrack with having Bianca take on Becky at WrestleMania if, Bianca wins, which I believe she will at Elimination Chamber, take on Bianca. But, this match right here, and then, like you said, it makes sense for Sasha Banks to bring herself into the situation because Charlotte said, you know what, who I'm going to take on at WrestleMania, I mean, Ronda won it, so I choose Sasha, so Sasha, she got to come out on SmackDown and be like, hold on, wait a minute, like, I deserve something, here, like, but hey.
As long as they don't do it for Elimination Chamber, I'm fine. But I have this funny feeling that they will. I love Naomi to death, but I don't see Naomi beating Charlotte. I don't see it. But
Charlotte just said
it would be nice.
She said she wanted to work with her and have a program with her though. But I think it's way overdue for Naomi. So
it is. It's way overdue. Or shoot, might as well. Why not? Why not if you add Sasha, but then Naomi said you do this Daniel Bryan storyline with Naomi, make it a fatal 4-way, having Naomi win it. Either way, I would love for Sasha to have a WrestleMania moment. It's really 0-7, really. Big Show, you're treating her like the Big Show. Big Show was like what 0 in infinity until he finally won at WrestleMania against Cody Rhodes of all freaking people.
I was just about to say that though.
and nothing, no shade against Cody. Well, back then, I don't have shade. I don't hate Cody, guys. But then we get to the men's. Oh my God, what the heck was this supposed to be? Okay, the men's. Please explain to me.
I mean, this
Bad Bunny. When you have Bad Bunny and Shane McMahon and the returning Drew McIntyre as your biggest surprises in this Rumble, you have serious problems with your booking. And I got to give it to Shane McMahon, even though he had to quote McFoley, the testicular fortitude to stand up to his father. I got to give him that because nobody wanted to see. Please put it up. Nobody wanted to see that. Nobody wanted to see that. And if you do, more power to you. But ask yourself. Ever since Brock has come back, I mean, granted, they have given him a personality, which is cowboy-ish, childish cowboy, which is But let's look at Brock's design here, okay? This Brock's design. that ponytail has to go.
You don't like you're not a fan of the ponytail?
Heck no. The ponytail's terrible. It is awful. In fact, and this is too, Brock has been shoved down our faces more than John Cena's ever been. And for all of you people out here that say John Cena was shoved down our throats, he was, if you go from retrospect. But in my opinion, Brock has been, ever since Brock's been back, Vince uses Brock for everything. And I'm like, and it's real. And John Moxley said it best. You pay Brock millions of dollars. It's really killing your company. Brock is one of those people, and I know a lot of people are gonna come like, Brock's not killing the company. Are you sure about that? And it's not on Brock itself, it's on Vince. I don't want to see Brock main event another freaking WrestleMania. I don't want to see Brock win another title at WrestleMania. I don't want to see champion versus champion at WrestleMania. By the way, spoiler alert, Brock is winning that Elimination Chamber.
No, really, like a lot of people keep saying that. I just don't see, why would he win? I understand, yes, that's Brock Lesnar, he's the beast, but I don't see him literally winning. I mean, after what you did at the Royal Rumble with with Bobby Lashley, and now he's a 2-time WWE champion, and everything you're doing with the Almighty, he loses the title right back to Bobby to go on to a matchup between Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, which don't need a title at all. It's just the simple fact that Roman Reigns has held the title for over 500 and something days, though. Like, it doesn't need it to be unified. It's just another way of WWE doing sloppy booking and doing sloppy stuff to say, you know what? Okay, Bobby, we don't have shit to do for you at WrestleMania. We just gonna take the title off of you and put it with this match. Kind of what they did with Asuka a couple of years ago when Asuka was the women's champion, and they took the title off of her and put it on Charlotte to have that matchup between Charlotte, Ronda, and
oh God, you're bringing back bad memories.
That's the same thing they did with that. You don't need to. I think it should stay right on Bobby. And, he have a feud on his own. Like last year, he had a championship matchup with Drew. This year, if he's WWE champion now, he should have another championship matchup. And
but here's the problem with that. Here's the problem with this. Number one, it's in the Elimination Chamber match. So there is like what? There's 6 of them. So he has like what? I'm not good with the math right now, but he has like a 1 of 6 chance to retain that belt. But here's the problem with this. Brock Lesnar. It's Brock. Shoot. You know what? I'm going to make it another spoiler for you. I wouldn't be surprised if the main event was Goldberg versus Roman. And Roman Reigns got screwed by Brock, and we get Goldberg versus Brock at freaking WrestleMania until Roman somehow... This is WWE. They love to.
Ew.
I know. They overbook everything that they do, and I always give this company the benefit of the doubt. But this WrestleMania, I am nervous as HE double hockey sticks over. I am nervous about. I think it's gonna suck. Go back to Roman and Brock, because I got a lot to say with that. Because Brock and Vince, Brock is not you. Oh my God! And people say we want something new. We want something new. Get it? I get it. At day 1 or whatever it was, the heel turn between Paul Heyman, Brock should have happened at day 1. I get that. Do you want to know the original plan? I think you know this. The original plan of the Royal Rumble was to have the following people. This is where Shane McMahon got in trouble, even though sometimes some of the people are saying that he want the Rumble to be based off of him. If that's true, Shane McMahon, seriously, dude, you're not the same Shane O'Mac. But a lot of people, the following people were supposed to win the Rumble: Matt Riddle, Randy Orton, and AJ Styles. There was nothing wrong with those 3 right there. Now, AJ versus Bobby, I wouldn't mind seeing that. I would love for AJ to get, before he decides to leave WWE, and retire or go to AEW or what have you. Let him have one more big run with the championship. Shoot, a lot of people wanted Big E to win the Rumble, but let me tell you something right now. Big E, Vince doesn't care. Vince does not care.
Please, let's have
Big
this
E,
conversation.
Big E, that's another conversation for another day. But Big E would have been cool. Riddle, I ain't gonna lie. Riddle versus Bobby, I wouldn't mind seeing. I would love for Riddle to be champion. Personally, I'd rather see Riddle versus Brock than Roman versus Brock. But yeah, as for Roman Reigns is concerned, I love Roman Reigns. Ever since he's been back, Roman has been killing it. Personally, in my opinion, I think Roman should have been Wrestling Observer's Wrestler of the Year other than Omega. I'm just saying because I think the bloodline storyline was better than Omega's title reign as AEW World Champion. Say what you will. I love Omega, don't get me wrong, but I think it was Roman's year. And it really showed. And if they unify these belts, you better have Roman win. If they unify the belts, Roman better win. If Brock wins, so once again, you haven't learned anything from when was the one when Cena got suplexed to bejesus and back? 15?
Yeah, 2016 SummerSlam.
Yep. So 15, 14, 15, 16, one of those years. So you haven't learned your lesson, and now we have a part-timer. Oh, yeah, by the way, Ronda 2, part-timers winning the Royal Rumble. Actually, no. A part-timer wins the Men's Royal Rumble, and a person who was MIA for 2.5 years wins the Royal Rumble. That's a big middle finger to every single wrestling fan out there. I would have not mind for the women, for Bianca to do it back-to-back. Let her be the first woman to go back-to-back. Shawn did it back-to-back. Why not Bianca? Austin did it back-to-back. Hogan did it back-to-back. Come on, help me. Help me. Help me to help y'all, WWE.
Yeah, man. You are so right about that, man.
God,
so right about that.
This company gives me a headache. I already got a headache now.
I didn't even think of Ronda Rousey, and man, you make a so good point that when she was off, doing what she was doing, talking her smack about wrestling fans, saying what she's saying, like, and then for her to come in at number 30, like, what happened? Like we said, what happened to Bailey? What happened to Oscar? What happened to Charlotte? I mean, Sasha.
Speaking of Bailey, she threw shade. She threw shade at WWE. Did you see her Twitter or Instagram when she posted?
No.
She posted with Ronda winning the Rumble. She just grabbed her little puppy, had her drink, and just sipped on the tea. Like, Bailey. I'm so glad you weren't in this catastrophe of bull crap, because I would have been mad for you. Oh God, but you continue. I'm sorry, I just didn't mean to rant like this. But the Rumble, I think this is probably one of the worst. Oh God, both Royal Rumble matches. You know what? Everybody said the one that Roman Reigns won was the worst Royal Rumble. I beg to differ. No, I still say Royal Rumble the one that Batista won. I thought that was the worst. This 2022 might have took the taco. It took the whole dang pie. So congratulations, 2013. You're not the worst Rumble in my opinion anymore. That honor goes to 2022.
Hey man, that was a crazy Royal Rumble in itself, man. Like, besides that was the only story between the Roman Reigns, and the whole switch up thing that to me was really exciting. Other than that, I just feel like the Royal Rumble men's Royal Rumble was a mid card Royal Rumble. It was a bunch of mid carders. It wasn't no legends, no top stars that was in it really. And like you said, AJ Styles, Matt Riddle, and to hearing what happened with Shane McMahon for him trying to win it himself, and him getting quietly, released and stuff. Look at some unpredictable. We in WWE, they need some unpredictability. I think a lot of it is just too
predictable. Elimination Chamber is very predictable. I'm sorry. Too predictable. Brock's winning it, man. I'm sorry. I hate to say it, but he's winning it.
Yeah, I mean, I hope not, but yeah, they need to switch it up with the unpredictability. Now, yeah, Shane McMahon and Brock Lesnar, yeah, it wasn't going to happen, but the moment of the unpredictability when it comes up, it just be like, oh shit, can it happen? Can it not? I think that's where it happened, but WWE just shoots itself in the foot all the time. So I don't know.
Like, how many more toes are you gonna have until you just realize, oh, I gotta get the lemonade, and I fall.
Mm-hmm.
Come on. Oh my God, Elimination Chamber. Oh my God. Like, and here's the thing, All-Star Weekend's there, and unfortunately, I will be doing the Elimination Chamber, and be doing All-Star Saturday night. So you guys can stay tuned for that. Oh my goodness gracious, that's going to be a stressful day of streaming. Stressful day, because you get WWE stress, and then you get mad for NBA stress because some people deserve a 50. So dunk contest. But anyway, other than that, I mean, when it comes down to it, Elimination Chamber, the predictability is bad. I didn't also like the fact that Seth Rollins is in this Elimination Chamber, because I'm going to tell you right now. So Seth, who gets demolished, destroyed by Roman Reigns. Oh, I'm in the Elimination Chamber now because everybody loved my performance. What? And Kevin Owens had to fight for his and lose, mind you.
Mm-hmm.
I get it's a part of a storyline, but that's pretty lazy. You know what? How about this? Let's make it a party. Let MalcGoolie fix this, okay? Number one, Seth is not in it. Kevin Owens takes Seth's spot. If you want Austin Theory in there, have Austin Theory in there. Can you show the Elimination Chamber? The Elimination Chamber. Because who's in it? Because I need to see something. Because there are some people that don't belong. Now, Matt Riddle, I love you, Matt. I love you, Matt. I do. But you are in this big thing with Randy right now. I have to take Matt Riddle out. I'm taking Seth and Riddle out. So who am I replacing them with? Kevin Owens will take Seth Rollins' spot. Okay. Who's taking Matt Riddle's spot? You can make the argument for either Omos, or you can make the argument for, you know what? I'll make it even better. I'll make this a little bit even better. Take Bobby and Brock out. We're taking 4 people out. We're taking Bobby out. We're taking Brock out. We're taking Seth out. And we're taking Riddle out.
Okay.
So you got AJ. That's a good start. You have Austin Theory. That's a good start. Replacing Bobby, the United States champion, Damian Priest. Damian Priest should be in this Elimination Chamber, to be honest with you. He deserves it. Who's replacing Brock? Kevin Owens. Who's replacing Seth? We already said replacing Seth is Kevin Owens. Replacing Brock, Omos. And the 6th and final member who's replacing Matt Riddle, Finn Balor. If I was to book this, first things first, I would have instead of Riddle, I have Finn, but here's the thing. I would have Finn as a mystery. So I would have Austin Theory start off this match. I would have Finn Balor come in, but not original Finn. I would have Finn go Demon Finn or unknown type of Finn. It's like or a matter of fact, Gunslinger Finn. And he has new Titantron, where it's like a bullet, but it says Theory on there. And Finn beats the crap out of Austin Theory. Beats the living crap out of him. And not to try to bury the kid, but who's next in the chamber? Let's put the United States champion in there. Then the last person that I would put in there who would come out last would probably be Omos. And Omos and I know a lot of people are going to hate. Some people might hate this. Some people might love it. I would have Omos destroy everybody. He eliminates Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens is the first one eliminated in the match. He eliminates Finn Balor thanks to the help of Austin Theory with his little knee. He eliminates Austin Theory after Austin Theory tries to take a selfie with the fallen Finn Balor, but Omos crushes his cell phone.
Okay.
And he destroys Austin Theory. Who else? The one person that will give him a fight would be Damian Priest. And no, we're not going to do like how they did him in the Royal Rumble. It looks like Damian Priest is going to do it, but no, Omos destroys everybody until it's between him and AJ Styles. AJ does everything. AJ does everything that he can. And you know what? Here's the finish spot. Like, AJ goes outside the ring, and he basically, let's say, fire extinguisher. Fire extinguisher to the eyes of Omos. Omos can't see. Omos gets hit in the knee with the fire extinguisher. Hits in the sternum with the fire extinguisher. He's down. AJ trying to find something big to keep him down. So AJ looks at the top of the chamber pod, climbs the chamber, goes all the way up to the chamber pod, takes off his elbow pad, and a super phenomenal forearm on Omos. 1, 2, 3. AJ wins. AJ's the number one contender for Bobby Lashley for the WWE Championship.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what does that mean? What does that mean for Goldberg and Bobby? That's a one-on-one confrontation. Roman and Goldberg still continues as planned. That will probably be afterwards. Actually, no. Roman and Goldberg? No, I would not have Roman and Goldberg. I would have you can have Roman and Goldberg, but you can add Seth Rollins into this match.
Okay.
And it looks like, I ain't gonna lie, I would have the match at least 15 minutes. Like, have Roman and Seth destroy Goldberg. So like Goldberg takes like a 2 to 3 minute rest, basically. He's wrecking crap because he's Goldberg, because Goldberg can wreck. We all know this. Goldberg is a wreck. He's a wreck. He's a wrecking machine. He's a powerhouse. Yeah. Okay? And it looks like Seth Rollins is going to win. Because the Usos are out. The Usos are out there trying to help Roman Reigns. That's normal. And Kevin Owens, evens the odds. They take out the Usos, both Seth and KO. And Seth has a big smile on his face. He hugs Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens hugs Seth Rollins back, and then stunner by Kevin Owens. And a pop-up powerbomb not on the apron, but on the steel steps. Kevin Owens literally just leaves Seth Rollins a damn near a crippled mess. And Roman Reigns looks around after Goldberg is put through an announcer's table. Roman looks at what Kevin Owens did, grabs a broken Seth, tells the Usos to pick Seth up, spear, 1, 2, 3, Roman Reigns retains the belt. So yeah, you get Kevin Owens. Now the match between Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins is pitched for Mania.
Mm-hmm.
AJ Styles gets to face either Bobby Lashley or Brock, and yes, I would have Bobby retain with the help of Roman Reigns to do it again with the Usos and Roman Reigns this time. It takes, let's just say, because remember, Brock's a powerhouse, so I know fans are going to hate, like, it's just the Royal Rumble all over again. Well, it solidifies the fact of having Bobby Lashley. He can't beat Goldberg. Bobby Lashley can't beat Brock Lesnar without some outside interference bull crap. So boom, Bobby retains. Bobby takes on AJ at WrestleMania. So you got Bobby versus AJ. You got Roman versus Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar. the Universal title. Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins. And for the women's elimination chamber, Bianca Belair versus Becky Lynch for the Raw Women's title. Sasha Banks and Ronda Rousey go at it 1-on-1. Number 1 contenders match. Sasha looks like she's about to win, but Charlotte literally decks Ronda, so screwing Sasha out of the match. But let's say on SmackDown, it becomes a triple threat. So you got that triple threat match. The Usos take on not the New Day. The Usos face off against the Usos face off against the new talent that comes from NXT, MSK. So you got that. Raw tag team titles. I'm gonna do. Let's just say, we'll do the New Day versus the Alpha Academy. Randy Orton versus Matt Riddle. And I'm gonna do this one too because I think this will be pretty interesting. Dolph Ziggler versus Damian Priest versus Tommaso Ciampa for the U.S. title at Mania. Intercontinental Championship. Let's do because I think this would be very interesting. Finn Balor gets traded to SmackDown. Finn Balor. So if he's injured, 6-man ladder match for the Intercontinental title. Shinsuke Nakamura, Finn Balor, Big E, King Woods, Happy Corbin, Drew McIntyre. And I would probably have Drew McIntyre win the Intercontinental title.
Hey, man, look here. I'm all for it, man. I'm all for it with the fantasy booking. I can sit back and just listen to it all day long, man. I love it. I love it for real. MalcGoolie, man, I appreciate you joining me here on the 1130 podcast. We can do more of this, anytime, every day of the week, all day long, man. But you guys, man, this has been an awesome show of Talk Pro Wrestling, chatting it up about the Royal Rumble, what took place on AEW, and, everything to come. It's WrestleMania season. MalcGoolie, before you go, tell my listeners, man, when they can catch your channel, when they can catch some new episodes of you doing play-by-play and more.
Well, you can follow me on Twitter at MalcGoolie. You can follow me on Instagram at MalcGoolie. If you want to spell it, it's MalcGoolie. On the channel as of late, for all you Madden boys out there, Goolie got his hands full with Madden, but I'm doing a Madden series on my Chicago Bears. We are on probably the 9th episode. We are going to be facing the Pittsburgh Steelers next. Hopefully we can win that game because the Steelers are 1-6 in that franchise mode. Don't know how, don't know why, don't care. They're 1-6. They have the worst defense in that franchise, apparently. So there's the Bears. There's the Bears franchise I normally do. Dragon Gate is another streaming video game with wrestling I normally do. It's basically Fire Pro Wrestling World, but Fire Promoter. Every Wednesday, I do AEW Dynamite with my co-host Mitch. Shout out to him from the Spotlight Sports Network and Spotlight Sports Network streams, where you can find us on when we do play-by-play and commentary for every single game and every single wrestling event there. Friday is the Ruthless Attitude podcast, where we just talk about all wrestling that happened out from last week to this week to get you all caught up. And that is basically, and occasionally some Bulls games if I'm able to watch it on where I'm at. So there, that too. So yeah, we got a lot of stuff going on with the MalcGoolie channel. So I hope to see you there. Hope you all subscribe there, and I would greatly appreciate it because we are on the road to 2,000. So yes, there is that. So yes. Okay. Can't wait to see you there, and we can chat all we want.
Hey, you got it. You got it. For everyone who's listening, man, for everyone watching, the links will be down below to my guy MalcGoolie YouTube channel, his sports channel, and everything. You guys, for real, click the links down below. Make sure you subscribe and follow MalcGoolie, man. Yo, this was an awesome time. You're welcome here anytime. bro, to chat some pro wrestling. We're gonna chat it up in just a little bit after the show. We're gonna chat it up in just a little bit. But you guys, man, once again, like I said, it's been a dope show. I thank everyone for tuning in to the 11:30 podcast, Talk Pro Wrestling this week. I'll see you guys next week and also this Wednesday on EB Radio and YouTube, as you can see down at the ticker below. You know what time it is, man. Don't forget to follow the 11:30 podcast on all social media platforms. Follow the 11:30 podcast on Twitter at the 11:30 podcast. Like the 11:30 podcast on Facebook. Subscribe to the 11:30 podcast on YouTube. And also get you some merch, guys. Click the link in the 11:30 podcast bio on Instagram at the 11:30 podcast Instagram page. And once again, this has been an amazing show. It's the weekend. I hope you guys stay safe, stay blessed. Give all the glory to God. Once again, subscribe to the MalcGoolie YouTube channel. Get all your updates and stay tuned, man. For real. It's been another banger. I hope you guys stay safe. Enjoy wrestling. See you guys next week, man. For real. From MalcGoolie, Dre, and I'm out.
Peace.